How do we calculate future value of an investment? Well, there are many ways to calculate that, but we are going to use the built-in function of Excel to do it as fast as we can. Let's take a look at the first question. How much money will I have after 3 years if I deposit $250 each month with a yearly interest of 3%? Okay, so we're going to use the future value function, and fortunately it has a abbreviation, so it's FV. And then the first question is the rate. Well, in this case it's 3%. We divide that by 12. Then we need the periods, and the periods are 3 times 12, 3 years times 12 months. And then the next question is the payment, and the payment is $250 each month, and we need to enter this as a negative value, because if we don't do that you will get a negative answer, and usually you don't want negative answers if you are calculating future value. So we close it and we press enter, and now we can see that our future value of this investment is $9,405.14. Let's take a look at another question. How much money will I have after 10 years if I deposit $25,000 in an account earning 2% interest per year? So now we're just gonna let it sit there. We're not gonna do any monthly deposits, but we're just gonna let it sit there and wait how much money we get at the end of the period. Again, we can use FV for that, the future value function. The rate is, in this case, 2% divided by 12. The period is 10 years, so I could do 10 times 12, or just type 120. And then there is no monthly payment, but there is a initial value of $25,000, right? Now we close that, and let's see how much we have after the 10 years. It's $30,000. $529.99, and you can see here that it's red, it's negative, and that's because I forgot the minus. So if you do minus 25,000, then you get the positive value, right? So don't forget to put the minus in there, same thing as here. Now the last question is a combination. How much money will I have after 3 years if I deposit $250 each month with a yearly interest of 3% and an initial deposit of $1,000, right? So you have $1,000, you put that in the account, and then you are going to put $250 in that same account each month for 3 years. So is future value, and the rate in this case is 3% divided by 12. Then the period is, in this case, 3 years times 12 months. So we have 3 times 12 periods. The payment each month is $250. And let's do the minus. Don't forget the minus. Hope you noticed that. And then again, we do need the minus for the initial payment of $1,000. And now we are going to see how much that is. And we will have $10,499.19. Let's take a look at one more example. Now we want to get a sort of an overview of what we can do with our money. So I want to see the difference in what happens if I do $100 or $150 per month over a couple of years. And it's all the way up to $500. Is there a lot of difference? And then there's the interest rate, and I just put it there to easily change it. And how are we going to do this? So we use the future value function. And the first thing we need to do is the rate. In this case, it's right there in A1. There's one thing, if we are going to copy this function later, then we need to be sure that A1 stays as a reference. So we need this absolute reference. We press F4, and now we got the dollar signs, and when we copy it, A1 will stay in place. We divide it by 12, and then we go on to the number of periods. And the number of periods is right here. It's 5 years. But again, we have a problem, because if we are going to copy this, we need to be sure that we always select column A. So if we press F4, and again, And again, until the dollar sign is in front of the A, now we know that when we copy this, the A will stay in place, but the 2 can change. So if we copy it downwards, it goes to 3 or 4 or 5. And that's great. We want that. So this is the period, but it's in years. So we are going to do that times 12. And then there's the payment. And it's the same thing as the years, only now we want to be sure that this row stays in place. So we are going to press F4 and again. And now the dollar sign is in front of the 1, so the B can change, and that's fine, to another column, but the 1 will stay in place, right? And there's one more thing and trick that we need to do, because if I just close the function now, like this, and I would press enter, then we get a negative value in here, and we don't want that. So this is, again, the value, and we need to put it as a negative value, so minus. And now we press enter. And we can see that if we have $100 a month for 5 years with a 2% interest, we get $6,305. Let's copy this. And we can copy it right away to the right. And now we have our overview. And the nice thing about this overview is that it's pretty easy to change things, because we can just put 4% here. And we can see all the numbers change. So now we get $61,000 and $523 if we put in $250 per month for 15 years. And if we have let's say that we want something like $40,000, well, we would need to look here or maybe here. We can do $400 and then we have it after 8 years. We could also do $350 and then we have to wait approximately 9 years, because we are over the 40,000 then. So this is a nice little overview of what you can expect, and you can easily change all the numbers that you want, because you can change this to 1%, or you can just do a 20-year calculation right here, and you can see all the different numbers here. And this one is a little bit too big, and there you go. So if you wait for 20 years and you do $500 a month, with a 1% interest rate, you still get $132,781, which is pretty nice.